Okay, so here is our setup. I don't think there's anything. I think we looked at this. Maybe I'll come back to it. Okay, so today, we went through some crazy stuff last time trying to get a sort of 9p aware proxy to work. That did not work out very well, and I'm not entirely sure why. It could, the Linux driver for 9p seems to be act different than our implementation, and I don't know, something just seemed weird going on. It should have worked, but it didn't. And the whole reason for that was to use the initial attach call to be able to direct, so you listen on one port and have one server, one listener, and then depending on what they are trying to attach to, you connect them to the right client. We can try and figure that out eventually. In the meantime, we can try and do the dumb version, which is we listen on, for every client that has files they want to share to a container, we'll listen on 0 and to listen on an arbitrary port and have a unique 9p TCP proxy that the Docker plugin can connect to. Otherwise, it will work pretty much the same. So there's two things that we want to do today. One is set it up so that the proxy, so that it'll listen on an arbitrary port, and the Docker plugin connects to it, and then it will connect directly to our 9p server / custom SSH client. And then once that is working, we can tunnel that connection to the client over SSH. We actually have code to make that pretty easy, so that should be pretty easy once we have the basic proxy working. So let's get, let me know if chat's working too, by the way. I think everything's still here. Get our 9p proxy, which I think, what were you dreaming of, Brian? Something where you could share files to a container? Also, let me know how the delay is. It's supposed to be on low latency mode, but I've had this concept for over a year, and luckily Jonathan at Flynn was also thinking about the same thing. That's why we both submitted patches to the Go P9P library at the same time. The library itself is okay, awesome. The library itself is pretty well designed, the API, but there's definitely a lot of rough edges, and it doesn't seem like they're maintaining it anymore. So it's kind of just like ad hoc, I'm watching Jonathan to see if he does anything. He hasn't done anything since. So we're kind of on our own, I guess. They aren't even taking our pull requests. But it's otherwise like the best implementation of 9p and Go. Let's see. So I don't know if you saw some of the older ones, but we have a couple of things here. Maybe the weird thing that might be different is remote storage of code with local editing. Let's see. Can you describe that use case a little bit more? In this case, we have SSH involved, where we have a custom SSH client that we run locally to connect to a server, and that's acting as our... Oh, you can throw it down and I'll just process it, it's fine. We'll connect to the SSH server as a sort of gateway to Docker, and that's how I'll run the container. And if you missed out, we have a 9p Docker volume plugin. All it's doing is wrapping mount, and configuring 9p specific options. So our code so far actually does all this. We have a custom client that connects to our custom SSH server that starts up a Docker container. And before it does that, it creates a volume that can point to any 9p endpoint and then mounts that so that when you get into the container in SSH, you have a file mount that has whatever that 9p is. So now the trick is to we actually put the 9p server in our client, so while our client's running, it's running 9p server, and we've just been connecting to it directly. But of course, because this will be run on a remote machine and your computer is not a public IP, the trick here, this is kind of where SSH is useful, is because our connection to this system is SSH, we can actually use that connection to tunnel back the client connection to your local 9p server. So it's kind of weird because there's a lot of moving parts, and we've kind of iterated it and actually simplified it quite a bit from my original kind of complex vision of this, and we're kind of getting down to the simplest it can be for a system like this to work. So far, this project, which is on, let's see, I think it's on GL prototypes, one of these, local FS Docker SSH, for lack of a better name. It looks like I've committed almost everything except this proxy, which was an experiment from the last time. It was originally the 9p aware proxy, and then we confirmed that just doing a normal TCP socket proxy would work with 9p. So this is kind of what we'll use to start. So let's see, here's our server, our SSH server. We're starting up a 9p proxy. This is our old proxy that was trying to do we'll replace this first pretty quickly because it actually won't be a 9p proxy, and actually it would be per connection too, so we can actually start moving some of this around. Let's see, so if it's per we want to do that first here. Our SSH connection. If we listen on 0, that should actually give us. Do we have to split this up to get the port that it actually listens on? It'd be nice if listeners just gave you the port. Okay. Brian, do you know if there's a quicker way than doing a split host port from the string of the adder? Yeah. Okay, and we're panicking because these are just this is a prototype for now, so. And this should work. I actually can't think of the last time I created a listener and just told it to listen on 0, but in Go, I know that works on Unixy systems. So let's see, and then this defer is going to last for as long as this session. Okay, that's good. Let's see, starting proxy. something like proxy 4 on port. So that's logs. So a new line. This is a proxy for user on port P. Because we don't care about this. Do an error check for that. I guess, let's see, how we're going to have this. I suppose if we close the listener, it should end as long as we're looking for EOF on here. Error not equal nil, which we aren't. I guess I'm going to start turning this into the regular proxy. Maybe I'll grab the other one real quick. Let's see. I guess what we could do to have this actually set up the listener, return the listener. We don't have a fatal. Switching from Go to C# or C# to Go. Isn't really anything else. I guess I will grab. Need a session. SSH session. Oh, and this runs. I guess we'll just do this. And I go team. Does that look right? Return the listener. Listener accept. Oh, we don't have fatal. Pretty quickly see where all the you know what, I'm gonna make fatal. I'll just panic here. Not gonna bother fixing anything else yet. This is a normal proxy. Go in C center. Okay, so I think I can. It's a start. We'll rename it start proxy. We don't want to. I think it's except returns EOF or something if the listener. What is it? If I go look it up real quick. Oh, nothing's gonna tell me. Brian, are you there? Do you know what the accept return, what error it returns when its listener is closed? thought it was EOF, but maybe it's something else. I'll just log it and then, yeah, okay. If it's not nil, if it's, if error equals IOEOF, maybe, then, I guess we'll return. Otherwise, actually, I'm forgetting what you would normally do with any other error from accept. I guess just print it out. And then return. I think you're going to recover. Okay, for this case, it's probably fine. Okay. I wonder, okay, well, we have the listener, so we can get the adder again out here. In which case, pass that in here, I guess. While we create the container. We'll call it 9p. And here is where we can, so we'll do that split again. Do it up front. The host. I should probably just double check everything's still working here. If I were to run a 9p, I guess I can't delete it. I've gone too far. Let's make sure Docker volume. Okay, those are basically pointing to particular addresses. I'm going to remove them. And I don't think we've actually determined where we're actually connecting. I guess I'll run a server. 9pr, let's do 9p server. I think that's serving my local directory. I guess I can test with that real quick. So I'll call it 9p. Okay, we've got a volume. We've got our A server running. Okay, so my home directory, server's working, plugin's working. I guess I want to run that server, and then I'll connect. This proxy is going to connect to that. So what is that? Five, six, 4. Oh. So it's creating a whole separate listener for every container session. It's pointing everything to the same manually run server here for testing this. Let's see, I guess we're almost to the point where we can run this. I think we can run this. Server. Okay, we got some stuff to fix since I was... What's its problem? Oh, you can't start with a... Call it a file server. Oh, now what? Did I not pass that somewhere? Where is this? 59. Oh, that's SSH. And then we need to use our special client. So we'll do that here. No, not SSH. Go run SSH client. Localhost. What is it? 222. Oh, this is what Laja's found this. I don't know why this got in. 206, huh? Guess I'll get rid of this because we don't need it yet. Oh, what is this mess? Why isn't Go fixing this up? Go format. Why does this look so bad? What is happening here? And why isn't Go format running? What is all this? Something crazy happened. I don't know what that was. Okay, so it doesn't always, there's not always terminal state. But I guess just forget this for now. It's gonna ruin my terminal. Duh, it's gonna be running its own server, which I guess that's fine. We can test with that. And we messed things up. What did we do? This one is so it had trouble connecting. I'm imagining this is mount returning 255. I'm pretty sure. So that means let me try this one more time with the telling it to connect to whatever our it's true they aren't used now. Oh, that's so. Nope, that's not what I want. Maybe it is. Oh, because error is a. Right. I'm in LS. So this is it working. And remember, this is our server because our server always gets that first connection. For some reason, always disconnects when the Linux 9p client does it. But so again, this is just testing that we're connecting directly to the client, not going through the proxy, just to make sure that that worked. Now we can go back. Although, what is a host import? I guess it's worth. Did it say starting proxy program on port? But we didn't see what address. It might have been a bad address. Did we have to force it to listen on? Let's force it to listen on this interface. This is probably like localhost or something, which would not be something that the Docker container could connect to. Okay, make sure everything's clean. Almost got this connection. And then client should be serving, our server should be serving it, proxy connected. So let's see, starting proxy connected. What's going wrong here? it's hard-coded to connect back to this. It's fine. That is the port that it's listening on. It's interesting, it took a while. I'm not sure what that was all about. Well, there is that the Linux. Oh yeah, we saw this the other day. Because the Linux client is always like connecting twice. For some reason, the first connection, I don't even know what it's doing differently. Because at the protocol level, it's doing the exact same thing, but pretty consistently will just disconnect. And so I think, and then our proxy code just doesn't handle for that. And so it's just kind of like sitting there for a while until it retries, which is why this was blocking. But if we go there, that's our directory mounted, our local directory mounted, and it's going through the SSH server as a proxy. Now we'll have to deal with that initial connection taking forever, unless we figure out why we're blocking so long. I think just we're assuming that the connection is going to be open for a while, and it isn't, so we just have it sit here. We don't do any checking of the connection. I guess we could set a shorter read timeout. Read deadline, I mean. I forget what this is. Oh, look at that, it's right here. Set read deadline. Oh, that's good. It doesn't even link to the abstract connection interface. Come on. Read deadline. So it's an absolute time, like, right? It's not a relative time. Can we do like time now plus something like that? It's absolute. So we want time now plus or it would be a duration. Okay, thank you. What is time? I'm forgetting. What is time arithmetic? Oh, does it? Yeah, add. I don't know why it wasn't giving me as an option. So maybe this will help. Okay, so it's quicker. We have that first connection. We'll time out after 2 seconds. Oh, it looks like something's going crazy, or just being slow to respond. Got that volume there. It looks like there's an old one that didn't ping up. I'm gonna clean those up. Oh, it's in use, huh? Can I force volume? No. It's because of this dude. Okay, yeah. Try this again, pretty clean. I don't know why the stream just is dropping. I have that problem with Twitch. I wonder if it's... I also don't really know if other people have... Nobody's mentioned that before, so it's hard for me to do anything about that, unfortunately. I almost just want to do everything on Twitch, but it's hard enough. It's hard switching with Twitch because it's like stream different stuff over there. Okay, so we kind of reset everything. Everything's moving around, doing stuff. Created a volume. Still having a hard time getting to it though. Is kind of like bleeding edge prototyping is, I guess you just, it's not fun because you're working with really, like, every part of this is like a super alpha thing. And then, you know, once it works, then you're sort of motivated and other people are motivated to go back and actually make things work more reliably. So in the meantime, you're just like dealing with all this crap. Okay, I've had this problem. I think I'm going to try restarting the plugin. Because that's kind of what happened last time. And this is not cleaning stuff up. Docker plugin. Force it. So this is the plugin directory we can create and enable here. Okay, so it's running. See that it's enabled. I'm gonna restart this. Nope, I don't want any of these. Alright, we got a fresh plugin, fresh server. Still almost as if going through the proxy now is causing this problem, but we're going to try it without again and see if that's any different. I need to run this on a different port though. Nope. Let's check out our server here. Let's go this on 40. We should have it this one. 41. And then let's see, we can tell our server this whole thing again. Just see if it works normally like it was before, so we can kind of isolate this IO error to the proxy, not something else in the chain. Alright, thanks for checking in. Cool you wanted to do this sort of thing. I'll definitely push this and maybe ping you afterwards with where we got. Let's see, close this up. Okay, run this. Yeah, so connecting directly has no problem. And it could be the 2-second read deadline. On the good connection, there's no like keep live or anything, so it's probably like 2 seconds go by and then disconnect. So you might have to put up with that kind of long. I guess I can change this to something short, probably shorter than the original. Okay, so this one's done. And then we're gonna change this to connect. So just keep that around. I'm gonna get rid of this old one. Oh, now there's a problem. Clean these up. Should be able to. No. What do we got here? guess I'm going to try it again before I restart the plugin. There it is. There it is. But 5 seconds after the connection is established, it will, because of our deadline. So, that is not a good solution even for our prototype. I've got an implementation somewhere that has a I'm trying to think how to do this. We just do it without and just wait for that first connection, or and if we know that first connection is always going to be a bad one, we can accept it and close immediately. Yeah. Well, yeah, we could do something like n is 0, and if n modulo 2 is that right? What is modulo in Go? It should just be like modulo, right? Modulo 1. Just modulo. Close the connection. Continue. Okay. In this case, it'd be checking for 1. So I guess this could work instead. Still not cleaning this up. Should be cleaning the container up though, no? I guess I have to exit for it to clean up properly, maybe. Well, that's right, of course. If we could kill the server, it's not going to be able to clean anything up. So remind me next time to quit the client first. Oh, now it looks like it's actually unhappy. Maybe because we're closing it immediately. guess we want to get a better idea of close the client. Okay, clients. Okay, client's gone, so we can do this. And yeah, that first connection doesn't like that we tell it to shut up immediately. It's like it has to close the connection on us, apparently. Although, what if we were just asleep for a moment? Like that 2 second, pretty much the equivalent of the deadline. 2 second deadline, right? Oops. Oops. Okay, let's ignore this and see that it's actually that it's unhappy with. So many things it could be unhappy with. So I guess the difference is that closing the connection to the proxy, we don't actually pass it through. So like, at least the initial attempt actually gets it to Hawk 9P for a moment, it seems, and maybe that's why it's able to connect again. So I don't look forward to like reverse engineering the Linux 9P client. Maybe I should time this so I know how long it actually takes. There we go. Okay, so then we'll exit. So that clean things up. So yeah. I don't want to work on the SSH tunnel part of it until we can avoid this like initial connection bullshit. Anybody watching? Anybody have ideas? Got an hour to kind of finish this up. If somebody were to do like a Wireshark and see what the difference is between those initial two connections, why the first one fails, that'd be lovely. I mean, if it were that easy, I would do it, but it's sort of like, oh no, I have to like parse the protocol and stuff. Doubt there's any 9P aware. Wireshark 9p. Ah. Oh, this is just a sample capture. I don't actually want sample captures. I'm guessing though that oh, so maybe it is 9p aware. We have it. Nine P. Oh. Okay. Does it not show stuff as it comes in? Let's see, what could we look for? I don't think that it's actually ASCII. It's got SSHs and stuff. See, it's aware. It says 9p. I'm guessing we don't have access to the interfaces on the VM. But I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of other ways I can deal with this initial connection thing. Or maybe we can learn about it. Connect twice. I wonder if it's connecting with one version and then connecting with another when it realizes that it needs a different version. Oh, whoa, we could do a debug mode. Oh yeah. Although, I don't know how far I want to go. Does it just display everything? How do you set that as an argument? I'm not quite sure. Just like as a number. Ooh. Select 9p protocol version. So this could be a big part of it. This definitely feels like it could be the thing going on. See, supported versions and the actual version for now respond to anything that doesn't match the prior version. Term may respond with the client's version string or version string identifying another version. Currently, the only defined version. So I'm wondering if it's trying to use one of these fancy ones first. All right, we can totally check this out, right? Now that we have an idea of where to look. Client negotiate. Figure out what happens first. Okay. Default version, that is what? Yeah, okay. So that's new channel. Oh no, that's server negotiate. Wait for a version message over transport. Okay. And we respond with this version. So if our client version is not the version that we have, we respond with this. So what I want to see is MV version. Just print it out here. Right here. Version. Alright, Wireshark, you're useless. Let's see, I did quit, so it's clean. I can close this. I should be able to just run again, and it should output the version on this side. Maybe not. Make sure that it's actually using the right one here. Nope, of course not. It's okay. It's just annoying. Clean. Okay. I don't really need to restart the server, but why not? Okay, this time it should... See? I knew it. We figured it out. I figured it out. You guys are useless. It's kind of obvious in hindsight. So our 9p okay, what we can do is make our plugin always use the normal legacy, whatever, legacy mode. So that would be in here. Not this one, but this, no, this one. Where we say options. We could make it an option of the volume though. I'm just gonna hard code it. Alright, so this version, right? Version. I'm excited. It'll be the first time that actually kind of works without having an error. Okay, so we'll exit here. Make sure this is clean. Close this. Now we have to rebuild. Docker plugin ls rm. Let's plug in use. Okay. So our make process. Pretty sure rootfs is fine. Create enable push. Wait, where does it actually build the thing? Oh, we would create the rootfs again because that's where it actually makes the binary. Do we delete the existing one? I don't know. Let's see what. I don't know where it puts it. I think at the root, right? Docker. That was a bit ago. I make rootfs again. I'm excited. I think it's all coming together. Okay. Make, create, enable. It's listening. And we can run this. And then we will see over here what version it's going to try and use. Nope, it's not happy. I don't know client's not happy. Is it picky about the uppercase? Because maybe this is what we want, though. Okay, yeah, we're like, oh, trans, blah, 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 blah. No extend. It builds it. It builds it. Okay. We can try again. Fast. I guess I wasn't paying as much attention before. Create root directory. I mean, I guess I did check that rebuild the binary, so it's good enough, right? And it did stop working this time, so I guess my change was not a great change. Okay, we're listening. Got our server running. There it is. It used the right version, but it still did this EOF thing. I thought we solved it. Wait a minute. IP2000. Yeah, it works. 9P2000. Right? P2000. I don't know, man. Although, let me check here. Yep, no, it's connecting twice. It seemed maybe it was like faster. I don't know, maybe it's let's see how fast. I mean, who knows what else is, there's not a lot of other things that happen in the handshake, but you can imagine there might be something other than version that's giving it trouble. It's trying to negotiate. What else would negotiate? Server negotiate. As far as I know, it's just a version. Here we don't say no, we just take whatever the client gives us. Yeah. Is there something after this? No, I just did start serving up messages. All right. I think there was something that actually, if there was something, there was like a commit in here that I don't think I had. Right. And like, I don't think it's going to behave any different. It's just not going to output that error, which is part of it, obviously. But we can put that in. I don't think it's going to behave different. I'll just not have that error, which would be nicer. Still getting an unexpected EOF. Hey, that doesn't make sense. That should be what that was, right? I just make sure that it's like picking up the code. Unexpected EOF is different than EOF, I guess. So that wasn't actually the a problem. EOF. The EOF is not an EOF. It's an unexpected EOF. Is that an error from this code or from something else? Unexpected EOF. Okay. That's just like a network error. I mean, isn't potentially every EOF unexpected? I'm not sure why this is any different. Anyway, this was just supposed to get rid of this message. I didn't see how it would actually change any behavior. You know, like it's not closing the connection properly, so it's like, I don't know, I'm gonna hang on. Ugh. I guess I could get in touch with Jonathan and see if he's seen any behavior, how he dealt with this. I mean, I guess I can do the SSH tunneling. It's just like, man. You have to wait a while for every iteration. Alright, fine. So what is this other code? I had some code. A tunnel connection over SSH. Give the agent proxy. Okay, proxy stream. So we take our connection and we do an open channel. And it's pretty much the same thing otherwise. We discard requests. Right. So this is pretty easy. It's in the client side that we have to be like, oh, new channel, do this. Which, I mean, for now, it'll just proxy to that port, but in theory, we could actually hand off directly to the 9p serve function, which is nice. So it doesn't actually have to listen on any port locally. So kind of what we want to do is move this kind of proxy to like almost literally this exact proxy to the client. And then we also have to handle some shit here. So I guess we gotta go look at our GoLang SSH doc. Let's see, request, it's not request to channel, handle channel. So once we have a client, I can tell it client handle channel open. We'll call this I'll call it local FS or local dir FS. Local dir FS. So it gives us a channel that we have to like listen on. Ugh. I guess we could just go func for the channel, new chan, in. How's this language work? Range fschan. And for every channel that we get, it seems kind of unhappy about this. Oh, there we go. Accept. What do we get? We get a bunch of stuff. Where's fucking new chan? New chan. So we get a channel and a request and error. Channel, requests, and error. Panic. Fuck it. This is basically where we would do this. We want to also do the discard those requests, because who cares about those? And then we're going to proxy an IP connection. However, it's not exactly a connection. Does the channel implement connection? Does it? Maybe we should just call it an IO write. IO, a read-write closer. Read-write closer. That's probably good. And that's our channel. So, yeah. And on this end, session, huh? Okay, we're gonna need to do this. We need to do all this. Because I need to reference that. Let go SSH. Crypto SSH might be more accurate. So this is local dir fs. We also, so I actually want to do all of this as well. Now we could do this all in here. That's probably a good idea. Clean it up. No, doesn't want to. Oh, okay, it did. Okay. So this is our in. Okay, and we don't have a stream. We don't do this half closed bullshit. Yeah. So that should work. We could try it. We could try it. Uh-oh. What's this? Oh. Using some fatals. Where did I use fatal? Oh, in the client. Where is the fatal? Panic. Panic the fuck out. Okay. Okay. And we wait. I mean, so far so good, because that means that this guy got the connection locally. There it is. So we're tunneling that connection through SSH. And we could really kind of exemplify that by not actually having a local connection between your client and the server, 9P server port listening thing. Where's our 9P server? Run 9P. So basically we would do, right, instead of all this, we would just do this, right? guess I'll copy it just to be safe about it. Now this is assuming, okay. I don't know if our channel actually implements a connection, but we'll see. I think we can even ignore this. We would just kind of write in here. Still need a context. Set up root. I don't know what root is. Not sure where that would have been set anywhere. Root. Run 9p. Okay, so when run 9p is run, which is right around here. So we grab this, we will tell this to stop happening. We can do that here. So we have dir. Yeah, this is fine. The idea is, can we pass a channel in here instead of a connection? I guess we'll see. Oh shit. I almost killed the server. Leave a mess. Okay, cannot use SSH channel type connection because it does not implement that connection. Because local adder is missing. Is that really the only thing it's missing? I guess we can go take a look and see what else our connection has. Pretty sure we have all those. Channel? Oh, we don't. We'll stub them out, I guess. You're gonna be picky. I don't know if it really cares about this stuff. A new type called virtual connection. Points to go SSH connection. Oh, we just say go connection. SSH connection. And this is a struct type channel interface. Wait, type channel. Okay, I was confused. Chanel. Okay, then we'll have it implement these. In theory. Virtual connection. This is a net header, right? Like this. Okay, what does it think about this? Because these all need to return something. Can I just return like a new... I don't know, man. What is... Can I make up an address? Can I create a new header? Is there like a... Show me this. I guess I gotta make a fake adder? Or I could implement network and string on this, and it would just return itself. Wait, I've got this. SSH, why not? Okay, now we wrap it up. Virtual connection. All right, what do you think of that? Again, so far so good. That's a really good sign. Ten minutes remaining. Holy shit. It worked, and we can really validate it by deleting all this code where we listen on stuff. We don't make any connections. We could even run another 9P server. Run 9P, and we don't even need this. Look at that, it's beautiful. Let's try it again. Again, it looks like it's gonna work. This creates a very kind of anticlimactic thing where it's like you get the error that says it's probably going to work before you can even check that it really works. But then you have to wait around before you can check that it really works. Come on. we go. I can even make a file here. Look at that. Exit. There'd be a file there that I made from inside a container. My terminal's all fucked up, so. Well, what next? We basically have all of this. We did this. We did this. There's a change in there, but we added it. So we can actually, next time I will try and get this set up on a remote machine so you can actually see what it's like to run this over the internet. That'll be interesting. In the meantime, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm going to commit all of this. I'm going to commit this to the local Docker SSH. I'll add a little bit to the README, linking to the other projects that it's using, just so that those references are there. I'm going to push any changes that I did on those. So hopefully you guys can reproduce this. Yeah, that's about it. So, until next week, see you later.